The northern hairy-nosed wombat became Queensland's most endangered mammal under the 1992 Nature Conservation Act and classified as critically endangered under the IUNC Red List. In the 1980s, the northern hairy-nosed wombat population dramatically declined to just 35 individuals. Prior to this decline, the species were widely spread across central Queensland, southern Queensland, and across New South Wales Victorian borders. The northern hairy-nosed wombats are burrowing mammals known as ecosystem engineers. They have a recognisable and considerable effects on the Australian ecosystem. Awareness of the connections between burrowing mammals and their habitats is paramount to preserve and control Australia's ecosystems and the biodiversity they support. The northern hairy-nosed wombat is one of Australia's largest wombat species. This species was originally found in 3 locations: Central Queensland, Southern Queensland and Southern New South Wales. After the dramatic decline in population during the 1980s, the northern hairy-nosed wombat's only known location was Queensland's Epping Forest National Park, with only 35 known individuals. As the population began to increase through conservation, a new population in the Richard Underwood Nature Reserve has since been established. Currently, the northern hairy-nosed wombat face countless threats including dingoes, wildfires, droughts and flooding. Additionally, loss to habitat due to land clearing significantly reduces the ability to relocate and re-establish new populations. Another threat that exists is the small population has become exposed to inbreeding and loss of genetic variation. In 2022, a 20-kilometre dingo-proof fence was erected after 20 northern hairy-nosed wombats were found deceased. Throughout the years, climate change has increased the risk of wildfires, droughts and flooding. A natural disaster could have a colossal effect on the northern hairy-nosed wombat due to its current size and population, eventuating in localised extinction. Throughout the last 30 years, the Queensland Department of Environment and Science, Glencore and the Wombat Foundation have led the recovery programs for the northern hairy-nosed wombat. In 2022, the Australian Wildlife Conservancy is the newest partnership to assist in conservation. During this time, the northern hairy-nosed wombat population has increased from 35 to over 300. The management and recovery plans currently in place for this species may one day ensure they are no longer endangered. Management plans consist of relocating new populations, sustaining and monitoring current populations, supporting research, and maintaining current field operations including food and water stations, as well as fence and trap monitoring. The northern hairy-nosed wombats are known as the ecosystem engineers that generate sediment displacement by burrowing through compacted soils, reducing their density. Without this burrowing species, soil will become nutrient poor and vegetation will have a reduction in nutrients affecting growth or disease. Australia's ecosystem capabilities are likely to continue to decline. Soil will become nutrient poor and vegetation will have a reduction in nutrients affecting their growth or increased disease, and seeds will become less likely to germinate. Despite the fact that the northern hairy-nosed wombat population has continued to grow, they still only reside in 2 locations and are still classified as an endangered species. It is clear that the burrowing mammals play an important role in the sustainability of Australia's ecosystem. If ecosystem processes cannot be re-established, then it is essential to begin planning and implementing management strategies. The future for the northern hairy-nosed wombat and Australia's ecosystem is heavily reliant on the ongoing conservation, support and management from government agencies and the Wombat Foundation.